Your sister needs you this weekend." My father's voice was flat, matter of fact, like he was discussing the weather. I looked up from my textbook, Advanced Corporate Finance, Chapter 14, Valuation Methods, and saw him standing in my bedroom doorway, arms crossed, expression brooking no argument. "What?" I asked, already feeling my stomach drop. "Saturday and Sunday. Vanessa's babysitter canceled. She has that wellness retreat in Sedona. Non-refundable tickets. You're the only option." I stared at him. "Dad, my final exam is Monday morning. The one I've been telling you about for 6 weeks. The one worth 40% of my grade. If I don't pass, I don't graduate." He waved his hand dismissively. "You're smart. You don't need the whole weekend to study. Just help your sister out. Family first, Peyton." That was the moment I realized my father didn't just undervalue my education. He didn't value me at all. 48 hours before the exam that would determine whether 4 years of work, $80,000 in tuition I'd paid myself, and every sacrifice I'd made meant anything. My father demanded I throw it away so my sister could get a massage. I said no. He said I didn't have a choice. So I disappeared. And when I came back, they learned a very expensive lesson about what happens when you treat the responsible child like a servant. Before I tell you how I aced that exam while my entire family imploded, tell me where you're listening from. So I know I'm not the only one who had to choose their future over their family's entitlement. My name is Peyton Hargrove. I'm 22 years old, a senior at Riverside State University, majoring in finance. On paper, I'm the success story. Dean's List every semester, 2 part-time jobs, full tuition scholarship I earned through academic merit. In reality, I'm the invisible daughter, the backup plan, the one the family calls when they need something, but never celebrates when I achieve something. My sister Vanessa is 28. She has 3 kids, ages 6, 4, and 2 from 2 different fathers, neither of whom are involved. She lives in our parents' guest house rent-free, drives a car our father bought her, and works part-time as a social media consultant, which mostly means posting selfies and calling it a brand. She's beautiful, charismatic, the kind of person who lights up a room and makes people want to take care of her. And our parents have been taking care of her since birth. When Vanessa got pregnant at 19, our parents threw her a baby shower. When I got my scholarship at 17, they said, "That's nice, honey," and went back to discussing Vanessa's ultrasound photos. When Vanessa dropped out of community college after 1 semester, Dad said, "Education isn't for everyone." When I told them I was double majoring, Mom said, "Don't overwork yourself, Peyton. You'll get wrinkles." The pattern was clear. Vanessa was the golden child. I was the responsible one. And in our family, responsible meant taken for granted. I worked 2 jobs to pay my tuition, waitressing at a steakhouse 4 nights a week and doing bookkeeping for a small accounting firm on weekends. I lived in a shared apartment off campus with 2 roommates. I bought my textbooks used. I made every dollar stretch because I refused to take money from my parents. Not because I was proud, because I knew it would come with strings. Meanwhile, Vanessa got everything handed to her. Rent-free housing, a car, babysitting on demand, usually from me. And when she needed a break from her kids, which was often, she'd call our parents. And they'd call me. "Peyton, can you watch the kids for a few hours? Vanessa needs some self-care." "Peyton, your sister has a date. Can you take them for the evening?" "Peyton, family helps family." I always said yes, because that's what I'd been trained to do. Say yes. Be helpful. Don't make waves. Don't complain. Be grateful you're even part of the family. Until the final exam. It was Thursday afternoon, 48 hours before the biggest test of my academic career. Corporate Finance 401, the capstone course for my major. The final was comprehensive, covering an entire semester of complex financial modeling, valuation theory, and case studies. It was worth 40% of my grade. There was no makeup exam. No exceptions. If you missed it, you failed the course. If you failed the course, you didn't graduate. I'd been preparing for weeks. Flashcards, study groups, practice exams. I'd blocked off the entire weekend to review everything one final time. Saturday and Sunday were mine. Non-negotiable. I was sitting at my desk, surrounded by notes and empty coffee cups, when my father called. "Peyton, we have a situation," he said without preamble. I sighed. "What's wrong?" "Vanessa's babysitter canceled last minute. She has this wellness retreat in Sedona. The one she's been talking about for months. The tickets were expensive. Non-refundable. She leaves tomorrow night. I waited, already knowing where this was going. We need you to watch the kids this weekend. I closed my eyes. Dad, my final exam is Monday morning. I've told you about it multiple times. I need this weekend to study. You'll be fine. You're always prepared. Vanessa really needs this, Peyton. She's been so stressed with the kids. This retreat is important for her mental health. And my exam is important for my future. Don't be dramatic. It's one weekend. You can study after the kids go to bed. I felt anger rising, hot and unfamiliar. No, Dad. I can't. This exam determines whether I graduate. I've worked 4 years for this. I'm not throwing it away so Vanessa can get a massage. There was a long pause. When he spoke again, his voice was cold. That's selfish, Peyton. Selfish. Family comes first. Your sister needs help. You're going to say no. Yes, I said, my voice shaking. I'm saying no. Then maybe you need to reconsider your priorities. Because this family supports each other. If you can't do that, maybe you shouldn't be living off our generosity. I almost laughed. What generosity, Dad? I pay my own tuition, my own rent, my own everything. You haven't supported me financially in 4 years. We let you come to family dinners. We include you in holidays. That's support. The absurdity of that statement left me speechless. I'm not doing this, I said finally. I have an exam. Find someone else. He hung up on me. 10 minutes later, Vanessa called. Seriously, Peyton? Her voice was sharp, entitled. You're really going to screw me over like this? I have a final exam, Vanessa. The most important one of my degree. And I have non-refundable tickets to a retreat I've been planning for months. Do you know how much this cost? Do you know how much my tuition cost? The tuition I paid myself while you lived rent-free. Oh my God, you're so bitter. Not everyone has to be a workaholic, Peyton. Some of us have lives. Some of us have responsibilities. You know what? Fine. Be selfish. But don't come crying to me when you need help someday. She hung up too. I sat there, staring at my phone, feeling something I'd never felt toward my family before, clarity. They didn't see me as a person. They saw me as a resource. Something to be used when convenient and discarded when not. I went back to studying. But in the back of my mind, I was already planning. Friday evening, my mother called. Her tone was gentler than my father's, but the message was the same. Peyton, honey, I know you're stressed about your exam. But Vanessa is really counting on you. Can't you just do this one thing for her? For us. Mom, if I miss this exam, I fail the course. I don't graduate. 4 years of work for nothing. You won't fail. You're brilliant, sweetheart. You'll figure it out. That's not how it works. I'm sure your professor would understand if you explained the situation. Family emergency. It's not an emergency. It's a spa trip. Don't be cruel, Peyton. Your sister works very hard. I wanted to scream. Instead, I said, I'm not watching the kids, Mom. I'm sorry. She sighed, disappointed. I raised you better than this. That was the final straw. The guilt trip I'd fallen for my entire life suddenly felt transparent. Manipulative. Hollow. No, Mom. You raised me to sacrifice everything for Vanessa. I'm done doing that. I hung up and turned off my phone. Saturday morning, I woke up at 5 a.m., packed a bag, and left my apartment before anyone could show up with 3 kids and assume I'd cave. I'd arranged to stay at my friend Brooklyn's place, a studio apartment across town where I could study in peace. I spent the entire weekend there. Flashcards, practice problems, mock exams. I ate ramen and drank coffee and reviewed every concept until I could recite it in my sleep. I didn't turn my phone on once. Monday morning, I arrived at the exam hall at 7:30 a.m., 30 minutes early. I sat down, took a deep breath, and when the proctor said begin, I opened the test booklet and felt a wave of calm. I knew this material. I'd earned this. 3 hours later, I walked out of that exam room knowing I'd aced it, knowing I'd secured my future, knowing I'd chosen myself for the first time in my life. Then I turned my phone back on. 63 missed calls, 47 text messages, 12 voicemails. I listened to them in order. Saturday, 10 a.m. Dad. Peyton, where are you? Vanessa's leaving in an hour. Call me back immediately. Saturday, 11:30 a.m. Vanessa. Are you kidding me right now? I'm at the airport and you're not answering. You're ruining my entire trip. Saturday, 2 p.m. Mom. Peyton, this isn't funny. Your father had to cancel his golf weekend to watch the kids. He's furious. Call us. Saturday, 8 p.m. Dad. You are being unbelievably selfish. I don't know what's gotten into you, but this behavior is unacceptable. We'll discuss this when you decide to grow up and come home. Sunday, 9 a.m. Vanessa. I hope you're happy. I'm stuck at this retreat thinking about my kids instead of relaxing because you refuse to help. Some sister you are. Sunday, 6 p.m. Mom. Your father is exhausted. He's not used to watching 3 children for an entire weekend. You've really disappointed us, Peyton. Monday, 7 a.m. Dad. If you cared about this family at all, you'd call us back. But clearly your exam is more important than your own sister. I deleted every message and drove to my parents' house. When I walked in, they were waiting. Dad on the couch, arms crossed. Mom in the kitchen, pointedly washing dishes. Vanessa's kids were playing in the den, loud and chaotic. Well, Dad said coldly. Nice of you to show up. I had an exam, I said calmly. And we had a family emergency. A spa trip isn't an emergency. Your sister needed help. And I needed to graduate. I set my bag down. I told you no. Multiple times. You didn't listen. That's not my problem. Mom turned from the sink, her expression hurt. We're your family, Peyton. Family helps each other. Really? I asked. When was the last time you helped me? When was the last time anyone in this family showed up for one of my achievements? Do you even know I made Dean's List every semester? That I'm graduating summa cum laude? That I was offered a job at Morrison Financial starting at $85,000 a year? They stared at me blank-faced. You didn't know, I said quietly. Because you never asked. You only call when you need something. Vanessa appeared from the hallway, looking tired and annoyed. Oh, so now you're the victim? I had to cut my retreat short because Dad called saying the kids were too much for him. Do you know how much money I wasted? Not my problem, I said. Your family. No. I cut her off. Family is supposed to be reciprocal. You take. I give. That's not family. That's exploitation. Dad stood up, his face red. You're being incredibly disrespectful. And you're being incredibly entitled, I shot back. I worked 2 jobs to pay my tuition. I studied for weeks for that exam. And you expected me to throw it all away so Vanessa could go to Sedona. Do you realize how insane that is? We expected you to be there when your sister needed you. And I needed you to respect my education, my future. But you never have you? Silence. I passed the exam, I said into the quiet. I'm graduating in 3 weeks. I start my job in June. And from now on, when you need something, call someone else. I walked out. Behind me, my mother called, Peyton, don't be like this. I didn't turn around. 3 weeks later, I graduated summa cum laude. My roommate Brooklyn came to the ceremony. So did my friend Amir from my study group. My parents did not. Vanessa did not. I walked across that stage, accepted my diploma, and felt a weight lift that I hadn't realized I'd been carrying my entire life. The job at Morrison Financial was everything I'd hoped. Challenging. Rewarding. Well paid. I moved into my own apartment. No roommates, just me. I decorated it exactly how I wanted. I bought new furniture. I started building the life I'd worked so hard for. For 6 months, I didn't hear from my family. No calls. No texts. Nothing. Then, in December, my mother called. Peyton, we need to talk. About what? Vanessa's struggling. The kids' expenses are adding up. Your father and I have been helping, but it's getting difficult. We were hoping. Maybe you could contribute? Now that you're making good money. I almost laughed. No. But she's your sister. And I have student loans to pay off. The ones I took out because no one helped me with college. That's different. It's not. I'm building the career you almost made me throw away. I'm not funding Vanessa's life too. You've become so cold, Peyton. I've become honest, I said. There's a difference. I hung up. It's been 2 years now. I'm a senior analyst at Morrison Financial. I make 6 figures. I have savings. I travel. I'm dating someone who actually values my ambition instead of resenting it. My family occasionally reaches out, usually when they need money or advice. I'm polite but distant. I don't attend holidays anymore. I don't babysit. I don't drop everything when Vanessa has a crisis. Last month, my father called. His tone was different. Quieter. Peyton, I've been thinking about that weekend. The exam weekend. Okay. I was wrong. I didn't realize how important it was to you. It wasn't just important, Dad. It was my future. I know that now. I'm sorry. It was the first time he'd ever apologized to me. Thank you, I said. And I meant it. But I also didn't forgive him. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Because sorry doesn't undo 22 years of being invisible. Would you maybe want to have dinner sometime? He asked. Just us. Maybe, I said. I'll think about it. I haven't called him back. Because here's the truth I learned that weekend. The people who love you don't make you choose between them and your future. They don't demand you sacrifice your dreams for their convenience. They don't call you selfish for protecting what you've worked for. My family taught me I was only valuable when I was useful. That my achievements didn't matter unless they served someone else. But that exam, that final, terrifying make-or-break exam, taught me something different. It taught me that my future was worth fighting for, that I was worth choosing, that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away from people who take you for granted. If you've ever been the responsible one, the one everyone calls when they need something but no one celebrates when you succeed, the one who had to choose between your family and your future, you know this feeling. It's not anger. It's not even resentment anymore. It's freedom. The freedom that comes from realizing you don't owe anyone your potential. Share your story in the comments. Someone out there is sitting with their family's demands on one side and their dreams on the other, trying to figure out which one matters more. Tell them, you matter more. Your future matters more. And the people who truly love you will never make you choose. And subscribe for more stories about the moment you stopped being the backup plan and became the main character of your own life.